Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today, we'll be taking a look at the history of SpellForce. In this video, I'll explain what type of game SpellForce is and tell you a little bit about its development history. However, we won't dive into the lore of the games, those will be covered in future videos. SpellForce is a single-player role-playing and real-time strategy game set in the fictional world of EO. The series saw its first release at the end of 2003 with SpellForce: The Order of Thorn. Developed by Phenomic and published by Encore Incorporated, the game was often compared to Warcraft 3 due to the fact that both were a mix of RTS and RPG. Although it never reached the success of Warcraft 3, it was still very well received by fans and critics alike. The game starts off on the continent of Fiara with you, the protagonist, a rune warrior, being summoned back to life 8 years after a devastating event called the Convocation. You then take part in what is now known as Battle for Fiara, fighting to restore the balance of the forces in the land. The game got its two add-ons, Breath of Winter and Shadow of the Phoenix, in 2004, the latter of which concluded the story and marked the end of SpellForce 1. The series continued in 2006 with the release of SpellForce 2 Shadow Wars. SpellForce 2 stayed true to the series' RPG RTS formula, but somewhat simplified the gameplay. The developers also switched the more gritty looking realistic art style for a cartoonish one. The story introduced us to the Shai Khan, people that mix their blood with the blood of dragons to gain power. SpellForce 2 later received 3 full expansions, with the first of them, SpellForce 2 Dragonstorm, being the last one developed by Phenomic before the company got bought out by EA and went bankrupt soon after. After that, the series saw a decline in quality with each new expansion, the next one, Faith in Destiny, generally being seen as the low point of the series due to it being developed by a third-party developer called Trine Games. Following that, the last SpellForce 2 expansion, Demons of the Past, was issued to the developer Mind Over Matter, and while more widespread, the small cult following the series has had since the first entry started getting more and more distance from it. This brings us to the newest game in the series, SpellForce 3, developed by Grimlore Games and published by THQ Nordic at the end of 2017. Grimlore Games' aim was to take the series back to its roots, making the game a prequel to the first one, changing back to a more realistic art style and making improvements to both the RTS and RPG parts of the game, which had both been oversimplified throughout the years. They also introduced the first proper multiplayer mode, something the series had been lacking since the beginning. This succeeded in bringing many old fans back to the series and once again creating an active community. With no news whether or not we'll be seeing another SpellForce game in the near future, all that's left to do is play and enjoy the ones we have. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.